Okay, so in the aftermath of the situation, Boscoon Jr. is dead. Krazy K got shot in the head 3 times. And Abdul, you said that you had his brain matter in your hand?
Yeah.
Okay. So he lost part of his brain in the shooting?
He didn't lose, he didn't lose part of it that I know of, but the brain is that muscle. And it hits, it knocks some of it out. It's not like a whole half of it gone. But I know for one thing it did, it changed him. And it made him really live up to his name, Krazy K. I tell you that much.
Right, because he gets shot 3 times in the head. He went into a coma, but eventually he got out of the coma.
Yeah, he got out. He came about the coma. One day, someone called me and told me to come out there. So when I got out there, he was like moving around, looking up. And the security guard was like, shit, he been doing that all day. Like that right there. So he woke up. They still had a bunch of tubes and, things in his mouth and that, I forgot what they call it, a trach or something in his throat.
Yeah.
Then he pulled all that out. And he pulled all that out. And he told me, he said, man, he was like, he talked kind of raspy. And he was like, man, I want to go back to gender. That's a name for heaven for Muslims. He said, I want to go back to gender. And I told him, I said, man, it ain't time for you to go back there. Allah just wanted you to visit it for a minute. And he sent you back. Because I had already told his baby mother, because they told me they didn't think he was going to make it through the night. And I had already told his baby mother that I'm not going to let him lay there and suffer. If it's time for me to pull the plug, I'm going to pull the plug on him. She went off on me. You can't do that. We need him. My kids need him. You can't do that. You can't do that, But I didn't want to, it was going to be hard, but I didn't want to see him, have to lay there and suffer and go through that, what he went through, go through that. But he pulled through. It wasn't his time. We believe in the decree of Allah. It's already written. When you gonna go, and Krazy K proved that to me to make me stand firm on that belief. Because you ain't got that many people that's gonna be able to say they wasn't shot in the head 3 times and live. He wasn't grazed and sprayed. He was shot in the head. They had to drill a hole in his head to get the pressure up out of it.
Mm. How'd you feel when you found out that your son actually survived?
I was overly excited, I was overly excited, I didn't want him to, I didn't want, I don't, I can't really explain how I felt, It was all praises due to Allah.
Yeah. Well, along with the other shootings that we just mentioned, Moody got shot 8 times and Red Dot got shot 9 times.
I think one of them is, yeah, that might be right. I think Moody got shot maybe 9 times because a couple days later they found some more holes that they didn't see that night.
Right. So in the aftermath of it, everyone in the car got shot and Boscoon Jr. was dead.
Right.
It was the worst possible situation
Right. Correct.
that could occur.
Reason being, it was so messed up because Boscoon just did 10 years in prison. He wasn't home 6 months. He really didn't have nothing to do with nothing, but he was their brother. But nephew here, he don't get in trouble. He don't bang. He don't do nothing. I can't even recall the fight he been in besides with his brother or something like that right there, But that's the ramifications of him being around that circle. You know, they're not gonna pick and choose, because I felt like when the guys who, because they stalked us without a doubt, and I felt like once they seen me, I felt like they should have called it off. But that ain't the way that it worked, you know, because I think that early that day, well, my daddy had died that week, and earlier that day, we went to my daddy's funeral, and we seen a strange car. You know, we seen a strange car parked, but I thought it was one of my brothers from my daddy, and he, you know, he wasn't allowed to come around, and I thought it was him sitting down the street, but I ended up finding out that it was those guys, and you know, I think they kind of like stalked our page, and seen that we was going to my daddy's funeral that day. Then that night we had that concert, and that's how they got the drop on us. We all got our head down, looking in the phone, not paying attention. Slippers count. And that's what happened.